what is that? Modified hardware architecture. Okay. So hope you understood this particular concept. What is that? So with respect to memory interfacing, okay, you can classify you can understand this particular microcontroller in two ways. That is von Neumann architecture and hardware architecture. And the extension of the hardware architecture is called modified hardware architecture. So von Neumann architecture says the program memory and data memory both are same. Okay, so since the data and program stores in the same memory, the operation is faster. Okay, and also performance is very good. Okay, so the only thing is when your data is huge. Okay, so you cannot keep that particular data in a that particular available memory. Then you have to go. I mean, you can think of this particular hardware architecture. In hardware architecture, code memory and data memory both are separate. Okay, and you will take the instruction from the code memory, and then you will come back to the other memory, and you fetch the data and you perform the operation. So it takes a lot of time. Okay, space also required. Okay, and time latency is too much here. So that's why they one more architecture came, that is modified hardware architecture, wherein some space is reserved for the data in code memory. Okay, so that is basically called modified hardware architecture. So this is basically some concept actually. Okay, so in some places people may ask what is this microcontroller, whether it is a hardware or von Neumann architecture. Then you should be in a position to tell this particular aspect. Okay, so this microcontroller, this 8051 is basically hardware architecture. Why? Because the code memory, okay, and data memory is separate inside a microcontroller. Okay, so what is that? You have 4 kilobytes of internal ROM. Okay, so 128 bytes of RAM. This is internal, so separate. Okay, so inside this microcontroller 8051, both are separate, and also you can using 16 lines. You can interface separate memory. Okay, separate ROM and ROM you can interface. You understood? So in that sense, it is basically hardware architecture. Okay. So now the advanced architecture uses modified hardware architecture, wherein lot of cache memory is created, and also in code memory, some in flash memory, some data space is also reserved. So all those things will come in next coming classes. So any questions on this architecture part? Okay, so let me go to the microcontroller now. This is about memory. So now memory instructions, how we are studying? We are studying move instruction for the internal memory, data transfer. We are studying move X command. Okay, move X command is used to transfer data from internal memory to external memory. Okay, so this is internal memory to internal memory. Okay, you understood? Okay, so MOVX is for internal memory to external memory. And there is one more command which is MOVC. Okay, MOVC is also internal memory to external memory. Okay, external memory. But the thing is, this external memory for MOVX command is used for RAM. Okay, that means data memory. So MOVC is used for code memory. So that is the only difference between this MOVX and MOVC command. Okay, so so that is what you have to understand. So now let us take up some simple demonstration today. So what is that? So we'll let us go for the next type of instruction. Okay, so that is arithmetic instruction. Okay, so let us start with some arithmetic instruction. So arithmetic instruction, you may be knowing, this is data transfer instruction which just moves data. So arithmetic instructions is basically like, you know, add, addition, okay, and subtraction, okay, and multiplication, okay, multiplication, division, all these things, okay. So all these things are basically arithmetic instructions, how we can do all these operations in microcontroller, okay. So that is what we have to, you know, understand. Okay, so now I'm just taking some demonstration here. Okay, so now you see, I'm taking a new file. Okay, now you see what I'll do. I'll just do some, you know, addition operation. Okay, so I'll just do some addition operation. Just see here, addition of two numbers. Okay, addition of two numbers. Here what we have to say, bytes, addition of 2 bytes. You see, from where it is taken, okay, from the internal memory. Okay, you understood the statement. The task is I need to add 2 bytes, two numbers from internal memory. Okay, so internal memory, the concept is this. Okay, so the concept is basically this. I want to add two number. Say for example, if I give first number is 11, okay, second number is 22. So then I want to add these two numbers and I want to get the result 33. So now some logics are there. Where this first number is present? So if you know the memory architecture, memory, you know, starts from 00 to FF, and in microcontroller 8051 it stops at 7F00, and these are the available memory space. Maybe in 10th memory location I'll keep this 11, okay, and 11th memory location I'll keep 22, and 12th memory location, okay. What I'll do, because you know it's hexadecimal. I cannot count it in I cannot count it in decimal number system. So let it be this. Let it be, this is some some address. Say, yeah, 11. Okay, 12, 13. Okay, 11, 12, 13. I want to store my result in 13. Okay, so this is internal RAM. Okay, so this is RAM. Now two numbers are present in 11th memory location. Say I'll take different number. Okay, so I'll take different number. Say 10. Okay, 20. Okay, 23. Okay, so answer is 33. So this is what I want to do. So 10 and 23. Answer I want year. I want year. So now the thing is task. I think you should understand here. What is the task? Two numbers are present in the internal memory. Okay, I want to add those two numbers in the internal memory. I want to store this particular result in internal memory itself. You understood the operation what I'm trying to do? So I want to take the two numbers from the internal memory and I want to add both the numbers and I want to store the result in the internal memory itself. Okay, so that is the task. So where that numbers are present, 11, 12, 12th memory location. Okay, so now I am just writing a program for that. See now here, where is that? So now here I am just pointing here in this particular space, try to observe. Okay, so this space. So this is basically internal memory, RAM. Okay, so now when I move my cursor, you see here, this is 11th memory location. Okay, I am storing, what is that? 10. My first number I am storing here. Okay, so when you run this program, you can store here. I'll store there. So you can store. When I simulate, then I'll store. But see here, the program I'll start writing. So now the command. Okay, so move. Okay, move. Observe here, a comma. So 10H. Okay, 10H. That means from the 10th memory location, whatever data is there, you take it to accumulator. Move B comma B comma 11H. Okay, so that 11th memory location, whatever data is there, that came to B register. Then add, okay, so add A comma B. Okay, add A comma B. What happens when you type this command? The A content and B content will be added and the result will get stored in A register. You see, you understood the thing what happens. So when you write this command, okay, so add A comma B. So what is that? A is equal to A plus B. Okay, so the result will come back to accumulator only. So I am storing that result in accumulator only. So this is addition program. So now you should know the difference. So when you put this as symbol, that means it is raw data. Otherwise, it will be considered as an address. Remember, so that will be considered as an address. So 10th address, 11th address. The result came to accumulator. Now what you have to do? Move. Okay, so 12th address. Okay, 12th address with what? Accumulator. Whatever accumulator content is there, move that accumulator content to 12th address. Now, this is a simple program which is used to add two numbers from two different memory locations and store the result back to the internal memory itself in some other location. You understood? So let me run this program and I'll just go to simulator mode. Okay, I'll just go to simulator mode. Maybe some arithmetic demo program I'm just writing. Now I just compiled. Okay, compiled successfully. Now what I'll do, I'll just double click on this part and I'll store the data. So I stored 10 and 23. Can you see here? I just stored manually. I fed that particular data here. So if you can see here, the data went here. Okay, so I stored that particular data in two memory location. So when you take that particular cursor there, okay, so okay, first number is present in 11, okay, 12, okay, 13 I want result. Okay, let me change that. Okay, so 11th first number, okay, 12th second number, and 13th I want the result. Okay, whatever. So I'm just going to I'm recompiling and going to the execution mode. Okay, so let me come to 11th address, that is 10, then 23. Okay, done. So input numbers are present in the memory. And now you see I am running the program. Okay, step by step. First instruction is executed. Can you see here? Okay, after executing the first instruction, the 10 value came to accumulator. Okay, then again I am running the program. So now you can see here 23 came to B register. Okay, 23 came to B register. That is what you have to observe step by step. And then add A comma B. Now here 10, 23 should add and result should come back to accumulator itself. Now I ran that instruction. Can you see what happened? So the result came to accumulator itself. So 33 is present in accumulator. Now after executing this instruction, what it has to do? The accumulator content should go to 13th memory location. Okay, 13th memory location. Just I am running. Can you see here? So where you have to see the 13th memory location? 13th memory location is basically here. Okay, the data came to the internal memory. Okay, so these are all special function register, A, B register, B register, and all. So that's why we should not keep any data in this particular special function register. So either you have to move your results data to some some permanent memory. You got it? So now this is what we achieved now. Addition of 2 bytes from internal memory. Any questions here? Because this is the first program what we are running. Okay, so you should keep in loop. Okay, so whatever we are doing. So now let me so now I'll just I'll just introduce some complexity. Okay, introduce some complexity like this. So now here you see. Okay, so what is that complexity? Try to understand. Move R say R1 comma 11H. Okay, 11H. Now, okay, so here you see what I did. Now you just have to guess, okay, what I am trying to do here. So I am trying to, okay, initialize some address in some other symbol. Okay, so from there I want to, I want to use a pointer. Okay, so here R1 I am using it as a pointer. Okay, R1 I am using as a pointer, like external memory access. Last time whatever we studied, there we use DPTR as a data pointer. So likewise in the internal memory you can use R0 and R1 as an internal data pointer. Okay, R0 and R1 as an internal data pointer. Now same thing. Okay, whatever I executed last time, it does the same thing. Okay, so the only one different what you have here is I initialize the pointer. Okay, so I am not directly giving the address. Okay, so through pointer I am giving that particular address and I am taking that value to accumulator. Okay, so let me run this code. So 11th address I am just putting 12, okay, 13, whatever number. Now you see here after running the first instruction. Okay, so can you see here? Sorry, R1, okay, R1 should be 11H. So okay, you have to hard code. Sorry, here you can see here one mistake we have done. Okay, the pointer is basically the address. It should be the value. Okay, it should be the value. So now I am just running. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just keep some number. Okay, 12, 13 something, 12, 13 is there. Now, when I run this code, first after running first code, R1 came 11. Okay, so now what it has to do, whatever it is, the data present in R1 will act as an address. Okay, and then it will go to that particular address and it takes the data. So this is basically called indirect addressing. Okay, indirect addressing. Okay, so direct data, okay, or register data, or this is basically indirect addressing. So now this is how exactly your pointer works in most of the programming languages. Okay, in C, C++ and on those things, if you're not sure about the pointers, okay, now you should know this particular program. So wherein you are assigning the address in some variable and you are accessing the data present in that particular way, address. You understood? So now here you see after running first instruction, 11 came to R1. It is just the data move to R1 register. Then after running second instruction, can you see here the indirect, the pointer operation took place. That means 11th address data is moved to accumulator. This is indirect, addressing, and the content is taken to accumulator. Okay, same like previous program, but it is indirectly taking the data. Okay, so 12th address came to B register and I am adding, and result came to this one and I just moved. Okay, 25 came to the, what is that, the 13th address. Okay, so this is one thing, and let me if you understood this particular part, let me enhance this particular program. Okay, so I am just stopping. So let me initialize other maybe R0 comma. Okay, what I'll do, so I don't do like this. Okay, so now what I'll do, see, I want to take the next content, right? Now you see here, I use one instruction called increment instruction. Increment means I is equal to I plus plus. Sorry, I plus plus. I is equal to I plus 1. Increment means always whatever value present in that particular register will be incremented by 1. Now, I had no 11 in R1. When I use increment, what happens? It will become 12. So then what I'll use, instead of this one, I'll use, same at R1 only. Okay. So now your pointer is only, now after pointing only one register, you could able to do this particular operation. Okay. So then again, to store the result, what you do, you don't try to hard code the thing. Then you will just increment R1 and at R1 now. Okay. The destination is at R1. Okay. At R1 means indirect addressing. Okay. Pointer, and A content will go to accumulator. Okay. So let me run this particular program. I am just trying to increase the complexity of this particular program. But the program does, it just adds 2 bytes. That's it. Okay. Now I'm just adding 2 number. Try to observe. Okay. R1. R1 content is 11. Okay. 11 came to R1. Then after running this 11th address, you have value 12. The 12 will come to accumulator. 12 came to accumulator. Then now you see here R1. R1 is 11 now. Okay. Now when I execute increment R1, that 11 will become 12. Okay. Plus 1. Okay. So it incremented. Now it is 12. Now you see what it does. B comma at R1. At R1 now the current address is 12. In 12th address, what data is present? 13 value. Value 13 is stored, and the 13 will come to B register. 13 came to B register, and it adds both. Okay. And now you are incrementing the address. Okay. Now the address is 12 and you are making that as 13. Okay. It will become 13, and in that 13th address, you are putting your accumulator content. Okay. You are putting your accumulator content. Now that content came to this particular place. Okay. So now this is how you can, you can deal with this, memory, and you can perform the addition operation. Okay. I can do move A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20 and add AB. So that is also addition program. But internally how this particular, this assembly program works, that you have to be very sure. So through this, you should understand the pointers in any programming languages. Okay, so then how exactly that pointer works? Okay, that you should know. Okay, so any questions? If you have any questions, please do ask. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now you want to know how this indirect addressing works. So now I'll just tell you. So now here you see, here you have R1. Okay, something. Okay, so now in the same you have A register. Okay, so in internal memory itself you have 11th register, 12th register, and 13th register. Okay, so all this memory is present there. Now when you are doing move R1 comma hash 11. Okay, simply the 11 will come here. 11 value will come here. Okay, so then what happens? Move what I'm doing, move A comma at R1 I'm doing. At R1 means, okay, what is data present in R1? 11. So at R1 will be replaced by 11H. Okay, the data present in that particular R1 will be replaced. You know what happens? A comma 11H. 11H is basically not the value, it is always address. If you want to indicate that as a data, then you will put hash symbol. Now 11H is means address. The data present in 11H will come to accumulator. So if you keep 20, that 20 will come to accumulator. So 20 will come to accumulator after executing this instruction. Okay. So then what you're doing, you are trying to increment R1. So then the content is, now you see whatever current state you have to track. Okay, whenever you are analyzing any instruction, okay, don't just follow whatever you assumed in the initial. Step by step, everything changes in microcontroller. Accumulator changes, every register changes. Now, after execution of previous instruction, what happens? That state you have to consider. So now previous instruction R1 is 11. Increment R1 means, Okay, r1 is equal to r1 plus 1. So already the data present in that one is 11 plus 1 is equal to 12 as 12h. The 12h will come and it will sit here after this particular instruction. Okay, so then what you're doing again, you are running the same thing. Because why this is required, see, when you put your pen drive or anything for data copy, okay, now no, every address will not be stored, every byte address will not be stored in the source file, you see. So only the starting address and maybe the number of bytes or the ending address will be stored. Then what happens, the pointer will keep on increments. Okay, so it won't always go to each and every address and it won't fetch the data, so it will become very slow. So internally there will be a pointer, it will keep on increments and the data will be taken. That is how it works. In future I'll explain how you can copy some large amount of data like 10 kb 20 kb, how you can copy from one memory location to other memory locations. We have a example, but this concept you have to be very clear. Okay, so you understood, Vikram? Okay. Yeah, no, no. Okay, so the value of A will not change. So increment R1 means R1 only changes. Increment A is there. When you use increment A changes. Like that, increment, say B you can use. Okay, so increment is the instruction followed by any register. R0, R1, something, any register you can use. So whatever you use, that particular register will change. So that's why, generally what is that? We understood move destination and source. Okay, move X destination and source. Okay, so destination register and source register. This is destination register and source register. And what is that? Increment. Increment is basically any register. Okay, any register. Okay, so basically SFR. And what we did, add instruction. Add instruction is basically register 1 and register 2. And in this, first register, supposed to be, accumulator. Okay, so this is how you have to understand generally. So this opcode is common, but the parameter what you have to pass is general registers or any content. You understood, Vikram? Yeah, fine, fine. So this is about addition operation. Okay, addition operation in microcontroller. Okay, so now I think I'll stop here. So next class, what I'll show other instructions in addition, subtraction, multiplication. I'll showcase, and then I will showcase some external memory data and addition. Okay, and then I will come to some important register, that program status word, in the next class. Okay, so these are all very important because I was just working on some Keel software and all. Okay, and I was just you know uh, I was working on the the list of ARM controller. You know, so list of ARM controller. If you see the list of ARM controller, can you see here how many? This is from only one some NXP. Okay, so only one company has some thousands of microprocessor and microcontroller. Okay, so thousands of micro variants they have. Okay, so lot of microcontrollers are there. Say for example, if you come here, uh, you know, say example, ARM. Okay, ARM. So now I'll just showcase where I can get it in Keel. Here. I'll just showcase why, so lakhs of microcontrollers are there. Now we have to, we have to, so I'll just showcase. Mm, uh, this is, uh, sorry, pack installer. Now can you see here, devices, microcontroller and microprocessor. I'm just fetching that the list of microprocessor and microcontroller. Can you see here? You know, yeah, you see here. Okay, devices. These are all various companies. Okay, ABOE Semiconductors. Okay, ARM. Okay, so some auto chips. Okay, Alltech, Infineon. Okay, Microchip and NXP. Okay, uh, this Texas, TI. So these are all various semiconductor companies, analog devices. So these are all semiconductor industries, and under that you see how many microcontrollers are there. These are all microcontrollers. 58 devices are there. So ARM itself has year 58 devices. Like you see here giga devices, almost 300 microcontrollers. Now, can you see here Cypress 900 microprocessor and microcontrollers? Okay, okay, and you see NXP. NXP has 1,300 microprocessor and microcontroller. Lot of microcontroller and microprocessor are there. So now, so that's why every microcontroller and microprocessor. Okay, so this kind of assembly programming, this kind of internal special function register, and this kind of memory architecture is same. Okay, so that's why the capacity may change. So whenever you go for some say LPC, okay, LPC 1, okay, 1278. Okay, now you see here internal 64 kilobytes, okay, flash memory, and 512 kilobytes ROM. Okay, so that each and every microcontroller the specs changes. Okay, whenever the specification changes, they will give new name and they will release that particular IC. All these things are ARM micro controller and microprocessor. So that's why so many microcontroller. Now what we are doing is just some kind of one step in microprocessor and microcontroller. Okay, so just you have to have a very good knowledge in the beginning itself. Definitely you can do better here. Okay, so let us continue in the next class. If you have any questions, stay back or you can take a leave. Do groundwork, uh, and let me solve some questions from your end in the next coming classes, and also give your requirement what you want. Okay, so quickly I'll take attendance. Please stay back. Abram Matthews. Abraham is absent. Anujit.
Present, sir.
Mohammed.